Miss Kenny here. This is your lesson for Wednesday, the 30th of September, so welcome. Again, make sure that you're checking in on Schoology on Zoom and that you are looking for announcements and updates because I do record these way in advance. So today we get to start a whole new kind of section. It's still part of Unit 1. We're still in Unit 1. It's kind of big. But today we are going to be talking about transformations. We're going to do an intro of transformations. So there's a bunch of different types of transformations. So transformations means to transform, like Transformers, right? And so a couple ways object shapes can transform is the first one is translation. And if you know what that means, that's what we're going to talk about today. It's a slide or shift. You also have reflection. So if something's reflected, it kind of flips. I like to call it the flip. There's rotations, where it gets rotated. Dilation is what it's called. But if you think about it, like, oh, are your eyes dilated? It means, are they getting bigger or smaller? So that's a dilation. And then we'll talk a little bit about symmetry. And then we'll combine all of them together. Well, not all of them, but maybe a couple of them at a time. So today we're going to start off very slow, and we are going to talk about translations. It's the easiest one. So go ahead and get out your notebook. Again, take the best notes that you can because it's probably, most likely, I'm almost positive, going to be open note tests. So you want to take the best notes that you possibly can, and you want to make sure that you're writing down questions along the way if I'm not answering them in the video. And if I go too fast, make sure that you pause it or rewind it or something so you don't miss anything. And turn off your movies if you're watching a movie, okay? All right, so I'm gonna flip this real quick. And I'm gonna zoom in here. All right, there we go. Sorry, it's a little bumpy. Okay. So today is 9-30. We're gonna be talking transformations. And today it's translations. That's the first one we're talking about. Translation. All right, so what is a translation? Some of you already know, we already talked about it a little bit, but let's write it down so that we know. A translation is a shift. Vertically, horizontally, or both. Now, to make this easy on us, we're gonna write down, and this is gonna be like dumbest, I know this, but we're gonna write it anyway. So X is a shift left or right. So the X, that's what the X's job is. It's like to shift left or right. And then Y is a shift up or down. And I'll explain why I'm writing this in just a second, because up or down, let me write that before I start talking. We're gonna have to write transformation notation, and so I'll explain what that means. What we're gonna do right now is we're gonna draw a graph, and we're gonna put a bunch of points on it. Now, it's kind of hard to do this, but we're gonna, so we'll call this A. We'll call this B. So you see how I'm doing like the halfway in the notebook is 1, 2, 3, 4. I do that every time just to kind of keep it the same. We'll do 3, -2 can be C. We'll call this D. And -2, -2 can be E. Okay. So you're probably gonna have to pause it because I'm probably going too fast, but make sure you get that down, that your points are pretty accurate. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do an examples from here. So example 1 says, describe the translation from A to C in transformation notation. All right, so I'm only going to write transformation notation because everything we do is going to be in transformation notation. After that, I just want you to realize what the word's asking. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look, and so we're going from A to C. So I'm going to count. So I'm starting at A and I'm going to C. So I know that I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to write down 6. And so once I go down 6, I'm actually at E, right? But I don't want to go A to E. I want to go A to C. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we go right 5. I would always write this first just to kind of help you see it. And so transformation notation is saying, well, my X and Y changed. And so let's talk about, so X is, we said it's just left or right. So which of these two is X, the 5 or the 6? Well, left or right is going to be 5. Now, if the X went right 5, that means it's kind of going forward 5, right? Is that increasing the X or is it decreasing? Well, going right means going forward from like how you read a book, right? So it's increasing. So we're going to write X plus 5, comma, and then a Y is a shift up or down. We had wrote that up there earlier, right? So it says we went down 6. Well, down, does that mean it's going, is it increasing or is it decreasing? Well, it's decreasing. So we're going to write Y minus 6. And so this would be your answer right here. And if you look at it, so if I wrote the coordinates for A, I'm going to put A here. I get -2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? -2, 5. And C is 3, -2. Well, if you look at the A value here, it went from, or I mean the X value, sorry, in these, it went from -2 to 3. Well, what do I add to -2 to get to 3? I add 5. And here, I went from 5 to -2. That went down. It went down. Oh, I think I wrote something wrong here. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, this is 4. I was like, that's not working. This is a 4. If I went from 4 to -2, that's decreasing by 6. So I took my original Y and I subtracted 6 to get -2. All right. So let's do another example. Find the coordinate of, let's say, E prime. Now that's how you say this, E prime. And I'll explain what that means in a second. If it follows the transformation X comma Y to X minus 1, Y plus 3. So now they're giving us the transformation notation. They want us to take E. Now, so once you finish this, pause it if you need to, okay? I don't want to go too fast. But this little apostrophe here means it's said E prime. And what that means is, you see how it's different? This E up here is just E by itself. This is E prime. This is saying I'm going to take E and I'm going to transform it somewhere, and my new E, we call it A prime, and they'll do that. So if I moved A, the new A would be, sorry, I can't see. If I moved A over here, the new A would be called A prime, so A with an apostrophe. If I move B over here, it'd be called B prime, B with an apostrophe. And so that notation is just saying, hey, that's my new E. And so first of all, so I want to take, so there's a couple ways you can do that. So first you can say, well, I'm gonna do it 2 ways. I know that x minus 1, and I wrote that wrong, sorry. X minus 1 comma y plus 3. Let's figure out what that's gonna move. So it's taking the x value and it's subtracting 1. So I know that's going to go left 1 because x is left to right. And the y plus 3 is up 3. So what I can do is I can go to E on the graph and I can count left 1, up 3. So let's do that. So left 1 and up 1, 2, 3. And so my new E prime would be right here. And so that's at negative 3, 1. Now another way you can do it, let's say you don't like to do it. Sorry, I wrote it right there. Let's say you don't like to do it that way. Well, you could find, well, let's find point E. Where is point E on my graph? So I say it's right here. It's at negative 2, negative 2, right? So negative 2, comma negative 2. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do negative 2 minus 1 and negative 2 plus 3. Well, what's negative 2 minus 1? It's negative 3, comma, negative 2 plus 3 is positive 1. And we get the same answer. So sometimes they'll be asking you to move whole shapes. So if I connected A, E, and D, I would have a triangle, right? So if I said move triangle A, E, D, left 2 and up 1, you would move each point left 2, up 1, left 2, up 1, left 2, up 1, and you'd have a whole new triangle. So if it's a shape, you just have to take every single point and kind of do what we did on these problems, just transfer them all exactly the same. So if you have questions on any of this, please come back on Zoom or come to Zoom, come to tutoring, and I can do more examples for you. So you're gonna go and turn this. You're gonna be given a worksheet to do, and I'm posting the answers. I did it with Notability and on my iPad, so I hope it's okay for you guys to read. But I want you to try it on your own. Don't look at my answers. Try it on your own first and then look. And if you got anything different, hey, I might have made a mistake. I might give you a prize if you find a mistake that I make. So, but if you get something different, come talk to me so that we can figure it out, okay? But that's all I got for today. So tomorrow, stay tuned. We're gonna have reflections tomorrow. Those are pretty easy too. So, all right, take care.